It is on Colby's channel. It is Colby talking to his mom. Yes, do we dislike Lori Vallow? Sure, why not? Of course. She's done something horrible that she can never take back. But I want to remind you guys while you're watching this that Colby has lost his sister, he has lost his brother, and also he has lost his mom and the image that he once knew of his mom. And there are probably going to be some parts where he's very angry in this, but also some parts of him where maybe he wants his mom back, because I would feel that way. So I just want you to keep that in mind as you're watching it. Are those decent disclaimers? Are we okay?
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm trying to keep it going.
Yeah, no, you sound good to me. I don't know if you can hear me very well.
Also, I want to warn you guys, throughout this video, I might interject a few things that I learned when we went through the whole Sinister case, but you'll hear more in that full video when it comes out. But I also just want to warn you, in this video, Lori sounds like mom. She sounds kind of sweet. She's actually about to say one of the most fucked up things that I've ever heard in this entire case, and it comes in a little bit later. I just want to prepare you for that.
How are you doing? Are you okay?
I'm better now, if I'm being honest with you. It's taken a long process to work through all this stuff. It's been a lot of years, but I've definitely found my strength. So I think that's where I'm at right now.
Well, yeah. I know you've got to be busy with kids and everything, so that your life moves fast when you have little kids and you're doing your life. So, I didn't want any of this for you, as you know.
Yeah.
You told me that Tylee had come to you in a dream.
Right.
And you never told me what she said or what her message was to you.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I always wanted to ask you privately, right? Like me and you, like.
That to me just rings still as Lori being super delusional, because she's like, what was the message? What was it? What was said?
I don't remember. If I'm being honest with you, I don't really know if I believe in the visiting of ancestors anymore. I don't really, like, people who are in your family. I don't think that's something that I've ever seen biblically, where like you really get visitors from your family on behalf of Christ. I've dreamed a lot of things, if that's what you're asking. I've dreamed a lot of things about you, and I've dreamed a lot of things about my family, but I've never fully dreamed. I can't remember exactly what you're referring to, if that's what you're asking me.
Okay, yeah, but you called me, and so you knew something wasn't right, and you were questioning me, and you were asking, but this is before you knew anything, and you had a dream with Tylee. I'm not saying she actually visited you, but you had some kind of dream that had upset you. And I wondered, because she had passed away, if she had actually visited you and told you something, because she visited me and told me plenty of things. And
she
the
means
she
that.
told me was, I'm sorry, Mom, for being such a brat. That's the first thing that she told me.
Oh my God, this is gonna be hard. If you don't understand the context as to why that is so awful, Lori Vallow killed her child, Tylee, because she thought that she was full of dark energy. And her on the phone in such a jovial tone saying that her deceased daughter came to her, Lord, give me strength, and said, sorry for being a brat, Mom, is just crazy. It's crazy.
And it was so Tylee, and it was so her. So I just wondered if she had said
That's
something
gonna piss
to you that
him
you recalled.
off.
And that
He's
was
gonna
such a
get
long time
triggered.
ago. I just always have wondered.
Understandably.
Because I never asked you at the time.
Oh, yep, there it is.
What your dream was. You just had told me that you had a dream and that she had come to you. So I wondered.
Yeah, I don't really remember, to be honest with you.
Okay. I just didn't know if that was something that. And I totally appreciate what you believe or don't believe or whatever. You know what I believe, so it's not a big secret.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you know from when you knew me, not what you know from what police have told you or other people have told you, but what you actually know from me personally. Which that's the only other thing I wanted to ask you about, because you remember our drive to Reno, just me and you, right?
Mm-hmm. And I remember you telling me some really out there stuff. I trusted you as my mom. I tried to give you the room to share with what you thought and felt. But as years went by, I had to do my own research on the things. And I remember thinking, when you did that and said that, I remember thinking, that's just not right in my spirit. And everybody's entitled to believe what they want. But I'm telling you, for me personally, that in no way, shape, or form do I believe that anybody's ever lived a different life. I think once you're gone, you go to heaven or wherever the Lord puts you. And that is my true conviction.
I honor and respect what everyone else believes. They can believe whatever they want to believe, right? Like,
but don't you think that's dangerous to believe anything and just kind of have your own basis of belief rather than something that's based in truth and what the Bible says?
Delusions feel good to people that don't feel good about themselves or their lives. That is what a delusion is. It is a thing that's not really based in reality, but somebody wants to believe it because it feels good in some capacity. And that's another reason why I think that Lori is never going to let go of this religious, spiritual demon narrative, because if this delusion goes away, if it's addressed, if it's cracked, if it dies, then she will have to accept that she is a child killer. But she instead prefers to stay in the delusion that she did this for a reason and she had a mission and God will understand, because that makes her feel better than this over here. When Lori first went to court for the deaths of her children, they actually said that she was not mentally stable enough to go to trial. They said she was unfit for trial the first time. After a couple weeks, they, talked to her a little, get her on meds. Their goal is to get her to a place where she can stand for trial. But they actually assessed her and they were like, holy shit, like she's far gone. And people try to plead that all the time. Carly Gregg tried to plead that. We just saw that in a case recently. People always try to fake that they're unwell, but they really looked at Lori when she came in. They said, we need some time here.
You said Tylee's been visiting you, so I want to. There's a lot of things I want to go through, but you said Tylee visited you and spoke to you.
The grief is visiting you,
JJ,
Lori.
I heard this in your
The grief.
statement. In the Bible, there's that moment. I think it's in John 5 where Jesus casts out the demons, and he gets rid of them, and then the man is back to normal. You said that there was a reference to the chosen, and I wanted to hear what you said because it cut out. So what do you believe in when it comes to the zombie idea?
Yes, I would love to address this because I have never said the word my personal. This has gone out of control. India, whoever made up this whole zombie thing, and escalated what my basic belief was. I, Lori, have gone through my whole entire discovery, and there's not one thing. Do you know if you do a search and you do the word zombie in the search in my discovery, do you know the only thing that comes up is when JJ was ordering those little zombie babies from Minecraft.
That's not true, because there were text messages when Lori was texting Chad and she would refer to them as Z's. What are we going to do about the Z's? Something, the Z's. Like, you think if she said the Z, she didn't mean zombie? For context here, like I said, Sinister will be back this week. We'll go through everything. But just to give you a little context, Chad Daybell had given her this theory that people that were bad were actually zombies, and it didn't matter if you killed them or not, but in order for them to go to heaven, you had to kill their bodies so that their spirit could be released. Lori and Chad were convinced that the children were not actually Lori's children, they were zombies. We'll get to this in the whole Sinister, but personally, my entire take on the Lori Vallow case is that she's a highly delusional woman that uses almost narcissistic defense mechanisms to protect her ego and her delusions. But Chad Daybell is, we'll get into him. He is a crazy person that manipulated Lori. And then after that, do you know why all of this happened? I'm going to tell you right now. Because they're having an affair and they wanted to have sex, okay? It was all just it was a giant affair that was wrapped up in delusion and religion. And we'll get there in the Sinister. But the religion stuff, it's really just the glue. It's not even what this is all about. Oh.
I wanted to give you the floor to really say your piece, and since we're cutting out so much, maybe it's just a good time. You told me one day you'd want to say it in our last phone call. You said that you wanted to tell me what has happened. So I'm gonna just give you the floor real quick.
Oh my God. Okay, guys, brace yourself.
I want to go ahead and I think you know what I'm referring to.
I know what she's about to say.
What really happened then with my brother and my sister and this whole thing. And I know that we could talk about my dad, but I'm assuming that that's because of your case is a little not for right now. We can always follow up on that at some point.
This is why I said in the beginning that I truly, genuinely believe that Lori is extremely delusional and she has a long history of delusion. But this is the part where the ego and the lying and the consciousness come in, because this is crazy. This isn't a delusion. This is a lie.
Well, it's obviously different than what everyone else thinks, and I don't know that if you knew the truth of what really actually happened, if you would want it to be in public forum. Colby, I mean, I talk to you personally. I know that you are the only person on this planet, to me, who loved Tylee and JJ as much as I do. The only person. So in all of my 4 years or 5 years of of going through this because, it's been 5 years now.
Yep.
I have asked every one of my attorneys, how can